Hey guys, welcome back to Time Machine Scum Models. It's been a little while since I've been on camera. I'm still here. I still look the same. Maybe a little bit more fat, a little bit more ugly, but you know, it's all good. But anyway, we have been toiling away when we got our bench time, and we've been working on Blue Ox Model Shop's Street Machine Group build, as well as the Mad Gassers group build. And as you can see, we are now clear coated with the 2K. Still needs to be wet sanded and polished, but it's looking pretty good and I'm pretty happy with it. But really this video is more about the Street Machines group build, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in this video. But first, a shop sticker shout out from David over at the Flying Dutchman, Dutch Dave's Model Bench. Go check out his channel. I discovered this channel during the Under 1000 group build. He reached out to me and asked me if I had a sticker or a shop card, and I told him I had a shop card, and I sent him a shop card. He sent me a sticker all the way from the Netherlands. So I'll leave the link in the description. You can go check out David's channel on your own and tell him I sent you, okay? So David, if you're watching, thank you very much for the sticker. It finally got here. I hope you got my shop card by now. The Netherlands, you never know how long it's going to take. But anyway, thank you for the kind words on the back. I appreciate it very much. We'll just set this right back here. Alright guys, in a couple seconds, we're going to turn you around, and we're going to be talking from the bench. Stick around. Alright guys, so let me show you what I've been up to with the Blue Ox Model Shop Street Machine Group Build 70 Chevelle. Now at first I was going to go traditional street machine, you know, jack up the rear end, put Keystone Classics on this, and it was going to have a blown 454 sticking up out of the hood. But I've decided to switch directions, as I often do, and I think we're going to go Pro Touring with this, and we're going to stuff an LSX under the hood. So let me show you what I've been doing. You can see that the body has been sanded pretty extensively. It had some seams and mold lines that needed to be removed on the fender up here at the top of the quarter panel where it meets the roof. And the body just had some marks, some scratches and stuff that needed to be removed. You'll also notice I removed the door handles on it. I removed the SS454 here and the scripts on the trunk lid. I had some sink marks I had to fill here, back here, and up here. So yeah. So we're going to paint this bad boy Hugger orange, and I think it's going to be pretty sweet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do as far as striping package yet. I don't know if I'm going to use the decals in the kit, or I'm going to go freehand and just do custom decals. Pro Touring style, I may go custom and paint them up, mask it off and paint it up. But we'll see as we go. We've got plenty of time to build this. So I'm going to go aftermarket wheels and tires. I have something in mind. We were going to use the Keystone Classics that I've had around for 10 years, but then I decided against it. Now, I can still get Keystones in like 20s and 19s, Pro Touring style, so that's not a big issue. So we still might stick to that theme using the Keystones to give it that little bit of old school flavor, but we'll see. So the hood also has a bunch of work done to it. This stock style cowl induction hood had a lot of scratches and gouges in it, so I had to clean them up. And you probably can see because they're ghosting a little bit, but they are completely flat. And we'll see after priming whether or not the hood pins will pop back through. I removed them also. We don't need those on a Pro Touring style car. Oh, another thing that I did, if you'll notice, I removed the drip edges, so this won't have chrome trim around the window openings. Just the rear and the front windshield will have chrome trim. Yeah, so I removed that too. It's looking pretty good. I think in one of the lives, I'm not sure if it was one of my lives, I discussed this had a twist in the body a little bit, but as I worked things through, I put it on the chassis and everything and put the interior tub in there, and pinch it down where it's going to be glued down, it seems to twist back right. So we'll worry about that later. I think we're going to be fine. But in a couple seconds, I'm going to take you over to the spray booth. When you have a red body, there is a tendency for the red plastic to bleed through. Now, I've never had that happen with a blue body, but I'm not going to take any chances because I'm going to be spraying this orange. Okay, so I want to show you my technique to prevent bleed through. Normally, you only have to do it on a red body, but I've had bleed through on green bodies. This is not a process you got to use if it's molded in white, of course, because it's white. You know, so being that this is molded in color, I want to try to prevent any dark hues from bleeding through the orange paint. So I'm going to show you what I do to prevent that. So stick around. Alright, so first of all, we're going to get involved with some rattle can shenanigans here, and we are going to use the Rust-Oleum Bright Coat metallic finish. Okay, and what I do is I spray the silver on the color first, and then I prime over the silver, and that usually stops any kind of bleeding through to the painted surface when you're done with your paint job. So let's go for a ride. Light coats at first, obviously. You'll wait 10 minutes in between coats. Alright, once you've had given your body enough time to tack up, let it sit around, gas out, tack up and stuff like that, it's time for your primer. Now, I've used Tamiya primer, and I use Automotive Sandable and Filler primer, and both work pretty well for this job. You choose what primer you want to use, but today I'm going to use the U-Pole Sandable primer. So then you want to put your primer on in light coats, obviously. And then once you have a full coat of primer on there, then you can see if you've got any high and low spots. And then you can start your sanding process once it's dry. you're obviously going to put a few coats of primer on as well. So you're not looking for full coverage the first couple of coats. Okay, you're going to let that sit. Gas out to your next coat. Alright, now you see we have our full coverage, and we just let it dry. It's looking pretty good. I don't see any blue. I don't see any scratches. And now we just let it gas out and dry. And then when this is done drying to the touch, we can go ahead and we can sand any more if we need to. We need to smooth it out. Alright, I'll see you back at the bench. Alright guys, we're back at the bench, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. At this stage now, what I'll do is, the primer is dried, it's sat up for quite a while now, and I will look it over and see if there's any areas that need to be addressed, and then I will wet sand this primer. And then once I wet sand this primer and it dries, I can give it a better look to see if there's any areas that need any more primer, any more sanding, any body filler or anything like that. But as I'm seeing right now, it looks pretty good. There's a couple spots that I want to address, like this on the door here, and there was one on the trunk that I already touched with some sandpaper a little bit to see what the status of that was, but that's going to sand out just fine. But yeah, from here you can see any problems that you have in the body and then address them. So it's looking pretty good, I think, anyway. So that's my process in ensuring that a molded in color body won't bleed to the top coat. Now, like I said previously, I've had problems with red bodies and green bodies. I've never really had a problem with a blue body bleeding through, but there's always that first time. So instead of waiting to see if that's going to happen, I just took charge and did this process to ensure that it doesn't happen. Alright guys, so I hope this video helped you guys out and you enjoyed it. I want to thank all my subscribers, new and old. Thank you for coming back and watching my content. I hope you guys have a happy Memorial Day weekend. Remember the fallen and spend time with friends and family. Alright, thanks for watching.